How's everybody doing today? I just wanted to jump on here real quick. You want to go? You want to go? Anyways, I'm just burning some incense today. I wanted to hang out with y'all. If it gets too dark, I'm going to have to run and jump today. I don't want to be out here in the dark again like I was last night. I wanted to share with y'all Arij Perfumes. And Arij Fragrances, they have a website, and they were generous enough to send me some stuff a while back. So I really want to share this brand with y'all. I think they have some of the best incense out there. If y'all interested in the world of incense, in the world of fragrance, there's a whole bunch of things out there besides perfumes and colognes. And I just want to showcase this a little bit. I do want to talk about some upcoming things I'm going to do with my channel a little bit. Um, and let y'all know a little bit of fragrance news. Not too much, but a little bit. Let me know what's your scent of the day. What are you wearing? I'm really just wearing this incense. I've been chilling around the house. I wore a little bit of my Cody Aspen just to hang out. I really like that fragrance for the spring when it's rainy. When it's a little bit cold, I like that fragrance quite a lot. Um, so I'm burning some incense. Are you burning any incense with me? I have some green hojari and some black copal going on here, and it's burning very well. A lot of incense going on here. Good evening. Nice to see you again. I'm wearing Oud Wood tonight. Oud Wood, fantastic choice. A classic, a beautiful fragrance, and a beautiful thing. Um, you know, fragrance is a classic at this point. It's undeniably a good fragrance. Oud Wood by Tom Ford, undeniably just a great fragrance. The price is a little high for some people, but it's a really respectable fragrance. It's nothing's wrong with it whatsoever. Let me see here. Um, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna roll. If anybody's gonna stop in, it's definitely worth the price. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not bad at all for what it is. It's one of the best, if not the best, that really Tom Ford has to offer. I think at least. From their private collection, I'm a big fan of the Ombre Leather 2016 and the Italian Cypress. Let me see. I'm trying to grab all of Arij fragrances in here. Um, and I'll show y'all some of the incense that I got from them. Um, People keep popping in and out. Anyways, let me share these fragrances with you. I think I might have shared them with you a little bit on a live. I'm not the biggest fan of these. Life is good, man. Yeah, life is good. It's good to see you. Again, this is Arij, Arij. They have some of the best incense. I'm going to show those to y'all for the price. Some of the best. They told me it was all different types of frankincense, and really is some of the best that you can get for the money. It's very exotic stuff. Some of the stuff is very hard to find as far as incense goes. Their fragrances, though, are a little bit not great exactly, and I want to show y'all some of these. I have four of them. What's behind you? Here we go again. That's actually a fold out umbrella. That's what sometimes protects me from the rain when I'm out here in the middle of the rain. Um, the first one's called Emirat, and I'm gonna test these for y'all again. Give them a second chance. I have to be honest with y'all. I didn't love them. This Emirat's probably the best one. There's still like this odd piercing alcohol-like quality from the top. That's a little bit sweet. It's a little bit soft. It's not exactly powdery per se. This one's a little bit more bearable. This one doesn't have a lot of oud smell exactly to it. It's soft and delicate, quite unisex. I'm not sure if ladies would like it more. Ladies might. To me, it smells a little bit like iris. These fragrances have a whole composition to them. They have a whole bunch of notes. I just don't remember too much about them. And they also do smell a lot better because a lot of the alcohol is also burned off. I'm just getting kind of to like the pure oil now. These decants aren't sealed perfectly, so the most of the alcohol is escaped, and that's kind of like the pure oil. So these smell a lot better. They smell a little bit stronger. What smell is this? My incense is a little bit of green hojari and some black copal. And this fragrance is called Emirat from Arij Perfumes. I don't think you're gonna know if you're going to be able to see that. Emirat from Arij, and it's not a bad fragrance. It's nice. Um, I don't know if it's a great fragrance though. I think you probably would be more happy with something like Dior Homme Intense, Guerlain Les Instants de Guerlain. I think you might be more happy with that. I think that might please you more. But it's not a bad fragrance. This one is probably the best. Can it remove curses? I don't know about that. I don't know. With the mysticism and all that, I don't know. I don't think so. Some people do burn incense to protect them from the evil eye. Some people do believe in that. Bro, I think that Arij has a hidden gem. I smelled it on my boss and asked him what in the heaven is that unique. It was called Siberian Musk. I think, wow, so good, man. Are you talking about Arij Lador? I need to try more of that brand. Arij Lador is legit. They're a oud brand and they're very high quality, very upscale. This is Arij, Arij, and they're an upcoming brand. I don't think many people know about them. I think I'm the only person on YouTube that's ever talked about this brand that knows about them per se. The next one is called Hassyl, Hasssyl, and I'm gonna test all of these. I'm gonna spray up my arm today, and test these for y'all and with y'all. And again, these smell a lot better because the alcohol is burned off, and I'm mostly getting the pure oil now. So this one is it still smells kind of piercing. It doesn't smell very natural to me. Um, the animalic quality I was getting from these fragrances has kind of died down. Maybe these need to sit a little bit and blend a little bit better. I don't think that I think this fragrance smells kind of like those hockey pucks that they use in bathrooms. It's not very pleasant exactly. It's trying to be kind of aquatic and kind of clean and sharp. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. I like how you're thinking outside the box with these videos. Thank you, Michael. I try to do my own thing. I'm definitely off the beaten path. I'm not doing fragrance rotation videos, fragrances I wore this week. I'm not doing very many top tens anymore. I'm gonna do a seasonal one, like my favorite spring fragrances in summer and winter and fall, but I'm not gonna do top tens all the time anymore. And one reason I'm stopped, it just started bothering me. That's one reason I stopped doing them. They really started bothering me because I didn't feel like I was true to myself. I felt like I was chasing numbers. I know that some people might like them, but I just didn't feel like it was genuine. Yes, I can make a meaningful, a worthwhile top 10 video. Yes, top 10 videos can be good and worthwhile, but there's so many of them out there, and I don't want to have to make an excuse. And I'm a very creative person. I can make top 10 videos all the time. I'm very creative. I actually, before I decided to kind of slowing down on them, I have a whole piece of paper. I have like 100 different top 10 videos that I wrote down. Trust me, I could have them back to back, top 10 videos, and I'm sure I could make my channel explode and growth because of top 10 videos. But that's just not my thing. I don't feel like it's genuine. I don't feel like it's true to myself. And maybe I'll do more of them in the future, but I'm not gonna do them every video or every other video. Even though I would like to have the growth and maybe some of the success that some of these guys are having, like Jeremy Fragrance. One of the reasons he jumped, went sky high. One of the reasons he was so successful was because he was one of the first reviewers to heavily focus and just do back-to-back top 10 videos. So he's a charismatic. He does a good job, no doubt. But Joseph says, "Ooh, yeah, this is a brand nobody knows about called Arij Perfumes. Nobody knows about them." Says my aunt gave me a crazy mushroom and now I can't sleep unless I have my head in the washing machine. Man, I don't know what you got going on over there, man. Do you need some white noise? Do you need some ambient noise? Do you need to listen to that like space ambient sci-fi stuff? I don't know what's going on, man. I hope you chill out. Take a chill pill. Lowell says, nail. What's up, bud? Hey, man, making sense. How are you doing today? I'm just talking about fragrance. I'm talking about Arij Perfumes. I'm going to show you some of their incense later on. And I'm just talking about my channel a little bit. I just wanted to hang out with y'all a little bit this evening. And let me go if it gets too dark. I don't want it to be dark out here on you. And I'm only going to be on here for maybe 20 more minutes. I'm not going to be out here for a whole hour, I think, this evening. Man, I just came to a conclusion. Parfums de Marly is overrated. For the price range is super high. It's good, but it should be better for a $280 bottle of Carlisle. I agree. Parfums de Marly is more of a mass appealing niche brand, or a niche brand that's going to be a little bit more universal, a little bit more easy to understand. I don't want to say that they're bad. You know, they have their place. Some people want something that's high quality. They want something that's long lasting, but they also want something that's going to get them compliments. I don't focus on compliments. That's not a big motivator for me to wear fragrances. I don't really wear fragrances for compliments. But Parfums de Marly, some of their fragrances are artistic. Some of them do have complexity to them, but they're not exactly compliment getters. But Leighton is a good one. Delina, no doubt, and some of the ladies' ones, are kind of understandable or likable by everybody. But I agree, Parfums de Marly overall is kind of overpriced for what it is. But I'm not gonna bash the house. I mean, I respect it. Honestly, I wouldn't be unhappy if I had a bottle of Galloway and Leighton exclusive, but I agree. I wouldn't pay the price for it. It's too expensive. And for that kind of price, if you're really into niche, if you're really deep into fragrances, you could buy a handful of indie brands or indie fragrances. You could get a lot of creative fragrances, a lot of variety, or you could probably get one or even one and a half bottles of something else like a Carnar Barcelona, a Serge Lutens. You could go for a really creative indie house and get something really artistic and really special for the $300 or so that a Parfums de Marly will cost you. But I'm not bashing the house. They're not bad, but I agree, overpriced. That It's funny when a brand gets popular, they don't have to justify themselves very much anymore. Just like YouTubers, once they get enough traction, once they got the YouTube algorithm on their side and they're growing like a snowball, they don't really have to justify themselves to people very much anymore, and things just keep on growing for them. If they do the right things or say the right things, they don't have to exactly defend themselves. So Parfums de Marly's, I don't think they've ever bragged about their quality or their ingredients per se. I don't think they've ever tried to talk up themselves being artsy or having a big story behind most of their brand. But they're still a good house. It's just, yeah, there's a house for everybody out there. I'm not a fan of Byredo, or Le Labo, or what's another one? Gallivant. I'm not a big fan of any of those brands. They just don't really speak to me overall. I think it was Byredo. Was it Byredo? They have one called 11th Hour, and I thought that one was decent. But there's Cure Celeste from Ex Nihilo. Yes, it's more expensive, but Cure Celeste by Ex Nihilo is way better than, I think it was called Seven Veils, or the Elevator Music, or any of those Byredos, like that. So, Ex Nihilo is another brand that most reviewers just don't talk about. I think that they're one of the better fresh or maybe musk-like fragrance. They do fresh or musk-like fragrances so well. They really do a better job than Maison Francis Kurkdjian does for the most part, in my opinion. So if you're a big niche head, if you're watching my content, and if you've been wondering where the niche is, I would point you in the direction of try some Ex Nihilo. If you want something that's more easy to wear, every day, easy, check them out. Give them a chance. You might just like them. I really do like a couple of Ex Nihilos. I might just buy one in the future if I ever save up the money. Um, let's see. Let's look at the comments. It's good, but not for the price. I agree. Make It Sense says nice. Nah, I was hoping your sense could release me from this eternal torment. Yeah, I will never blind buy again. Yeah, y'all got to be careful with blind buying. I've really slowed down with blind buying, and I really don't really suggest it at all, unless you really have some disposable income and you really like designer fragrances, or maybe if you really like personal taste, and you're very very excited about what you're hearing about from a reviewer or what you read on Fragrantica. I don't think blind buying is really a good idea unless it hits all the right spots for you. You got to learn what you personally like, the notes, the style. You might want to look into the perfumer. I don't blind buy too much anymore. Used to do that for a long time, especially with designer fragrances because I wanted to review those for y'all. But it does cost a lot of money, and I'm not going to do it too much anymore. Uh, you know, I'm gonna have to go to a mall or drive to a boutique. Michael says Parfums de Marley's overrated. Yes, they are overrated. They get a lot of hype and a lot of popularity. I hear rumors that they do work with some fragrance reviewers. I don't know which ones. I don't know if they do send too many bottles out for free, but I hear that they do. And Parfums de Marley does get a lot of talk. There's bits and pieces, but there was like a month or two where just about everybody was obsessed with, Baccarat Rouge 540 or, Leighton or Delina or something like that. And there's a couple there's one fragrance reviewer in particular that's kind of guilty for a lot of it, but I'm not going to bash them. They do their own thing. Maybe they really do like the brand that much. Maybe they really in their heart of hearts feel that Parfums de Marley is really one of the best niche houses or maybe the best. But I don't know if it's I mean I'm a little bit suspicious. I guess I'll put it that way. But I'm not going to put them on blast. I'm not gonna blame anybody, and I think she's quite a nice lady overall. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about if you watch fragrance news. I mean, if you watch fragrance content, if you watch YouTube, you know who I'm talking about. Mood by Arij per fragrances. I'm smelling this one. I don't like this fragrance either. I have to be honest. Mood smells again that has an odd synthetic quality. It jumps around with a lot of weird florals and a tiny bit of sweetness. It's quite strange. It's quite sharp. I almost get this weird grassy vetiver, but it's also oddly sweet and floral. It's very conflicting. I do not like mood at all. The last one I want to share with y'all from Arij. This is their 4 fragrances they have. Again, I shared with y'all and tested these a little bit in the past, but I don't think I shared enough about them or told y'all enough. This one is called Intense. Let me see here. Let's get this fragrance going. This one is a oud fragrance. It's more of a light oud. It's still noticeably synthetic to my nose. I don't think these fragrances have enough notes. I don't think they have enough complexity to them. And I don't know about the quality exactly. They're not the most expensive fragrances. If you go to Arij Perfumes website, they're not overtly expensive fragrances. But even if you make your fragrance long lasting with synthetics, you can still do a good job, even if that's the way you source them. Devona did a much better job with their brand, I feel. Again, I like the first one the best. I like the Emirat the best, and Intense is probably my second favorite. But I don't like the brand, their fragrances really much. But I do like their incense. I support their incense and the value of their incense and what you're getting. Very exotic stuff. They told me this is all frankincense, different types of frankincense from different areas. This one's called Black Sakra. It's from Oman. And yes, I know I'm talking about incense a lot on my channel. It's been a kick that I've been on recently. I've been very interested in natural things. I really suggest everybody gets into essential oils for aromatherapy, or you can get into incense, and you don't have to. Some people aren't comfortable with burning incense. Some people aren't comfortable with spending money on natural ingredients like incense when they're unsure what the ingredients are. Some people aren't comfortable with seasonings in their kitchen beyond salt and pepper. So I understand if that's not your thing. You certainly don't have to. I got another little doggy over here. Um, but I do like this brand if you're interested in incense. Anyways, let's look at the comments. I'm sorry. I gotta catch up with the comments. Stephen H says, "Hey, making sense says Galloway and Leighton are solid, but only at frag.com prices." I agree. Never pay full retail. Always save money. Save a buck. Save $1. I'm all about it. I mostly buy most of my fragrances have come from Fragrance Net and Fragrance by CA. Honestly, that's where most of my fragrances have come from. I know that Dior Prestige is a reputable brand, Crystal Parfums. Um, the first few bottles of niche I ever bought were from a brand called Twisted Lily. Sometimes you can get a 20% off code from Twisted Lily. They have sometimes limited, seasonal sales, and you can actually get a pretty good price on some niche. And some of them are kind of hard to get too. So Twisted Lily is a good place overall to go. Let's see here. Godolphin is the best Parfums de Marley. I do like Godolphin, and Leighton Exclusive is kind of good, but I don't even know if I want a bottle of Leighton Exclusive. Sometimes it smells really nice, sometimes I really like it, and sometimes it bothers me. It's just like Herod. I respect Herod as a fragrance from Parfums de Marley, and it's a nice fragrance, but sometimes for some reason, there's that underlying, that little tinge of like odd sweetness that underlines the fragrance. It's just like an odd sweetness. It's probably vanilla. I don't know what kind of vanilla that they use in the fragrance, but there's just something about the fragrance that sometimes annoys me. And I have plenty of other chocolatey, cocoa, roasted fragrances that I love. So, like Pure Tonka, and there's a number of other ones that I really want to buy. So, Herod is good too, but I don't. It's not on my buy list. I'm not rushing to buy that one at all. Joseph says just like Baccarat Rouge 540, it's a placebo effect. Maybe I don't like it either. For the price, I really don't like the smell of Baccarat Rouge 540, and I certainly do not like the price at all. It's very expensive, and to me, it smells mostly like an Ambroxan fragrance, with a odd, almost cherry cough syrup like sweetness, and it has an odd herbal nuance, and then it has a little bit of latex. It's not the most pleasant thing. Got the dogs going on over there again. And Baccarat Rouge 540 is not for me. Angela Van Rose is in the house, a fragrance reviewer. She talks about beauty, makeup, perfumes. She's a wonderful lady. I'd love to see you. Let me see here. Hi, mate. Hope you're doing well. Talking Sense and Review. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, my friend. You're a great reviewer too. Michael Sewell, you too. You're a great guy. Says the future is with indie houses. It's true. It's just like sci-fi. You know, if you're really into creativity, if you're really into original ideas, you don't really go to Hollywood movies for that. You want to get into science fiction. Science fiction is always like 30 years or so ahead of Hollywood for original creative ideas, especially in science fiction. So if you want, that's the way to go. And I don't know how y'all feel about anime. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but they're always ahead of Hollywood with creativity too by 20 years or so. So for sure. And the future is with indie houses. If you want creativity, if you want a good value for your money, indie houses aren't perfect. There's some that are hit and misses, but sometimes you find really nice fragrances that are going to suit your mood. One of my favorite is actually The Traveler in the Moon by Alchemia. If you want indie fragrances, again, Sucre Label is nice. I like their brand overall. Some of their fragrances are, kind of iffy, but they do have some that are very nice with good performance, and they have very creative names. Possets are most of them are a little bit on the subtle side, but Possets do have nice fragrances overall. I like the feel and the vision of their fragrances. I think they do have roll ons, but some of their fragrances don't have roll ons. So if you just buy one of theirs, and it's not a roll on, it's going to be an open mouth, and you have to like swish some on your finger and use it as an aftershave. And I don't think a lot of people are comfortable with that. Um, just a big number of indie brands out there. Alchemia is great. I'm a big fan of Posey. Posey, if you're a lady out there, Posey has some of the best fragrances. If you love authors and Shakespearean stuff, if you're a writer, if you like literature, Possets, is a wonderful. Not Possets, Posey is a wonderful brand. I love their Whisper Your Bitter Things. Madar is wonderful, and there was their Eggnog Noel. Eggnog Noel sold out super fast. Eggnog Noel is actually I got a 5 mil roll on for my mom for Christmas, and it's a beautiful vanilla. It smells like eggnog. It's very realistic and it's very gorgeous. And it actually sold out really quick on her website. So I'm happy to see that Posey is having success over there. She's doing a good job. And again, hello Angela. Fragrance Dog says hello. Jubilation 25 is really, really worth the price. So is Oud Wood and Tobacco Vanille. Parfums de Marley has nothing on them. I agree. Jubilation 25 is one of my favorite niche fragrances, if not my favorite. It's one of the ones I had to have in my collection, and I've showed it to y'all. I have a full size bottle of Jubilation 25. A big fan. I really do believe in that fragrance and what it does. It's very complex. It's interesting. It changes. It has like multiple stages in the fragrance, and it just smells so exotic and kingly, lordly, fancy. It has everything that you want in a really nice, niche fragrance. It's perfect for special occasions when you want to be very fancy and very dressed up. Jubilation 25 would be perfect for anything like a wedding or a celebration, a family reunion. Maybe you're about to receive an award. I mean, it makes me think of something prestigious. Maybe you're like a mayor and you're about to just like give somebody a big award or open a brand new city, expand some construction site. I don't know. It could be anything. A gorgeous fragrance. I agree with you. Parfums de Marley just isn't as big as people talk about it. Have not tried the Labo that I've liked either. Great content. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, and I'm happy that you have a similar taste to me. I like finding fragrance enthusiasts, and I'm happy to find my own, I guess you would say, group, my clan, my people. Thank you, 13 people that are here. You're my people, and I'm not trying to bash anybody else's own preferences. I just personally don't like La Labo. Their fragrances, overall, they're synthetic. Their dry downs can be a bit nicer, but a lot of the time you have to suffer through an opening that's quite harsh. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I don't want to suffer through an opening that's unpleasant if the dry down is not, to get to a good dry down. It's just the payoff to me isn't worth the overall experience. So again, Santal 33, y'all probably know about it. That one's kind of like the darling. It's kind of like the golden child of the Labo. Everybody seems to buy it. Everybody seems to love it. It wasn't for me, and I'm a big sandalwood fan too. That's the funny thing. I'm a big fan. I'm crazy about sandalwood, and it did not work for me. It just Anyways, let's see. Let's see some more comments, not content. DJ Ginkai's in the house. I don't know if I've seen you in a while. Thank you so much for stopping by, my friend. My scent of the day is actually Byredo Blanche right now, lol. I don't know if I've tried that one. What do you think of Byredo Blanche? What is it like? Jubilation 25 is straight. Is that fire? Yeah, straight fire, man. That's a good one. It's great. Which ex nihilo spelling frags do you recommend? Don't know the spelling. There you could go on Lucky Scent or Fragrantica to learn a little bit more. They're not cheap. Their fragrances usually use a lot of musk. So if you're not, it's not gross musk. It's not dirty musk. It's really fresh, clean musk. But they're really nice. My favorite probably so far is Cure Celeste. Very unisex, but it's a very clean, earthreal, transparent, ozonic kind of leather. If you're a leather lover and you want something that's inoffensive, everyday, appropriate, you could wear it anywhere. It is very expensive for an everyday, easy wear fragrance. I think it's like $300 or so. It's a lot of money for something that isn't too different in a way to really fresh, easygoing fragrances like Dior Homme Eau or anything like that. But I don't know. There's something special about that fragrance. I think I gotta have it one day in my collection. Pure Celeste, wonderful fragrance to me. One of the most beautiful musks. I already have one reason I'm not so eager to jump out there and buy it is because I already have Musk Nobile, I think it's called, by Kiko Mecherie. I think that's how you say it. Musk Nobile is gorgeous too. If you don't know Kiko Mecherie, give them a chance too. Wonderful brand, a niche brand. Their fragrances I don't think are too expensive, and they're kind of wearable. A lot of these people are starting to like more wearable niche, and there's a lot of other brands that really do wearable niche. and kind of do justice to it. Kiko Mecherie is another one. Let's see here with the comments. Demi is the Parfums de Marley. Um, uh, I don't know if that's true. It might be true. I'm not gonna say that it is, but you might just be true. I mean, it might just be right. Demi made a big hole in my pockets, but a cute girl though. Parfums de Marley definitely made. Yeah, and somehow it worked for her with her channel. Her channel exploded from talking about Parfums de Marley so much. I don't get it. Hey everyone, Scent of the Day Enigma Oud by Roja Dove. And Scent of the Night is Chinese exclusive by Insar Oud. Chinese exclusive sounds exotic, my friend. You got a good nose on you. I've never tried that one. Um, and Enigma Oud. Is there a Oud version? Or is there a flanker of Enigma? I've tried the original one. I've never tried the Oud version. Um, Interesting, my friend. Christian M. Joseph says, I have the same experience about Herod. My favorite is Pegasus. The dry down is fire, but still it was not cheap. It's one of the most unique fragrances, though. Reminds me slightly of Reflection Man. It is kind of that in that vein of like silvery, fresh, musky, and almost like nutty in a way. It is similar to Reflection Man in a way, and it might be a very distant cousin to Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Lucky. It's a very distant cousin to that as well. It is kind of unique for what it is. There's not a lot of clones, and there's not a lot of fragrances that are like it. It wasn't my personal thing, but it's a good fragrance. It is one of the more unique offerings from Parfums de Marley. But Reflection Man is much better, in my opinion. I think Reflection Man is a good fragrance. It doesn't have the right feel for me. And I can. It seems very posh. It makes me think of like an old Hollywood movie with somebody who's standing like really proud and has some of those like a really tall hat and like an officer's uniform, like a white and gold officer's uniform, very posh mustache. It makes me. It just doesn't suit my personality really. It's a very nice fragrance, but there's a number. I really like Platinum Egoist, and there's a number of other like crisp and clean fragrances that I really like. I like Niche Platinum by Armoth. That one is kind of a really nice alternative to Platinum Egoist. Reflection Man is nice. It's just not my favorite, but I don't know. It just doesn't last a lot long. Does it last long on you? The one with the big knocks against the fragrance is its longevity, at least as far as I know and I can tell. So let's see, Reflection Man, Rogue, Cheaper Siam, and Gallagher Wicked Good for me. Nice choices there, DJ. I might have tried the cheaper one, but I haven't tried the Wicked Good, and I really want to. I know, I know that one's full of vanilla and chocolate, and it's a gourmand. I think that's one of Gallagher's darlings. I think a lot of people seem to like it. I think it's a little bit more expensive. I think it comes in a smaller bottle, if I remember right. But it seems really nice. I got to try that one day. But I think that what's her name? I'm trying to remember. Eva Monroe. She said it's not the real deal. She says it's not worth the money and it's not a good fragrance. And Eva Monroe is legit. You know, she has a great channel and a personality. She definitely has her own signature taste, just like I do. I like certain things and I dislike certain things. Like instead of Reflection Man, I personally would probably suggest Renaissance by Zerjoff. Renaissance by Zerjoff is a beautiful, clean, classy, refined fragrance, and to me is very special and has a nice composition. But of course, I'm a little bit of a sucker for mint. I do like mint in a fragrance if it's cool and fresh, but Eva Monroe is pretty nice. Sucre Labelle makes one called Eggnog. I bought that, and it's wonderful. That's fantastic. I'm glad that you enjoy it. Sucre Labelle, most of their fragrances were pretty good. I couldn't bash any of them. And again, Posset's is a nice house. And there are a lot of nice indie houses. There's one called like 1692 that's inspired by a little bit more by like alchemy or witches. And I have another brand that I'm about to show y'all showcase a brand new indie house for y'all that nobody else has ever talked about on YouTube. I don't think Tom Elise has ever even shared them. And again, if y'all don't know who Tom Elise is, she has fantastic content as well, and she showcases lots of niche and niche and indie, and she has fantastic taste. Check out Tom Elise. I think she's doing a great thing. And if you look behind her, she's a big fragrance enthusiast too. She has, I don't know how many fragrances. She must have 300 or 400 or something, like high end niche fragrances. So she's definitely a enthusiast for sure. Let me see here. Fragrance Journey's in the house. Hey, my friend, how are you doing today? Hope you're blessed, Ben. Having an amazing weekend. I'm happy that you're happy that you're in the house, man. Stopping by. What's a game? You goat. What does that mean, my friend? Fragrance Journey. What do you mean by that? What's a game? You mean like how I'm doing? I'm doing fantastic. If that's what you're asking. Christian M's is laughing at me. What's happening? And watch Journeyman for me. Hey man, how you doing, man? How you doing, Sint Alchemist? I mentioned alchemy for you. Journeyman's also kind of a hidden gem of a mouage. Not many people talk about it. I think I and Scented Engineer are just about one of the only few people on YouTube that have ever mentioned or talked about how good that fragrance is. It's a really nice, smooth leather. It goes head to head with anything like Godolphin by Parfums de Marly. But it has a really interesting Szechuan pepper note. It's like a very interesting red pepper. If you've never had any food like Chinese spicy food with Szechuan pepper, you really got to try it out. You got to give it a chance. Uh, Bro, I'm excited to see this playoff picture looks like. Oh, the playoff picture. That's what you're looking at. Okay, I'm sorry. You confused me. Or maybe picking up. Jubilation 25 will make you smell rich. It'll make you look like and smell like you have a wad of cash. That's for sure. Um, Michael Sewell, you're too much. Fragrance Journey says we got Seattle versus Green Bay next. Okay, you're watching sports. You're watching the good old tube, the TV. I see. I had to catch up on that. Let's see. I find fragrances fall into three categories: don't like, okay, and love. What do you do with all the okay fragrances? Sell. I find a lot of times I just wear them to wear them. Thoughts? I agree. One of the big things I mentioned and I've talked about on my YouTube channel is wearing what you love. And I'm very much a utilitarian. I very much focus on what I love. If you know, for me personally, I would rather sell off a fragrance that I don't love, and I just like. If it's something really cheap or something that's hard to sell off, I might just keep it to wear it casually. I might just wear it around for fun, but I just don't. I don't want to keep around something I don't love. So I sell off a lot of my fragrances that I don't like. And a lot of the fragrances that you don't see me talk about anymore, a lot of the fragrances you might not see anymore. One of the reasons might be that I probably sold it. I've sold off a lot of my designer fragrances and a lot of my cheapies. And don't get me wrong, there are some wonderful cheapies, and if you're on a budget, there are some fragrances that are very much worth your money, especially if you're first getting into the fragrance game. But I'm kind of at a point in my life now where I want more indie, and I have a lot of I have the core collection. I'm always going to smell great for every situation for the rest of my life. I don't really have to buy any more fragrances, and for me, there's not really a point of buying any more redundant, designer fragrances. There's not much of a point in me going and buying a fragrance that smells like anything else I have in my collection, or something that's not as good as something else in my collection. Like, for example, Fan Your Flames by Nichane is one of the best tobacco fragrances that's ever been made. It's gorgeous, and it's also a beautiful coconut fragrance and a beautiful spicy fragrance. There's a lot of fragrances that I've smelled, especially in the designer world. If they try to do like a spicy tobacco or anything like that, there's no reason for me to own those because I love Fan Your Flames and I already have it. So there's just not a reason for me to fill up a room or buy more fragrances to showcase them on a wall if I just don't love that fragrance exactly. So that's where I'm at in my fragrance game. I'm glad you asked that question. If I'm happy to answer any type of question like that because that's I love to. Y'all might be curious. I love to explain. Um, that's where I'm at, guys. If you don't love a fragrance, I would encourage you to possibly sell it. If you don't mind losing a little bit of money, because you can put that money towards something that you love, or bills, or a nice meal, or going out, maybe. And another big thing is just with hobbies in general. If you're a big fragrance enthusiast, I'm happy that you're my friend. I'm happy that you're here with me, and I'm happy that you're a big fragrance enthusiast too. But I hope that you never lose a perspective. I feel like some people, if they get really deep into something, that they might like lose perspective. And I'm not saying that fragrance isn't worthwhile, and I'm not saying that fragrance isn't important. But what I'm saying is, for some of the money that some people pay, for how much fragrance that they buy, that honestly sometimes they don't need. You could go on a trip. You could go, on that trip that you've always wanted to go to. You could go to Paris. You could go to Paris. You could go to Morocco. You could go to Venice, Italy. You could go to anywhere. You could go, anywhere in the world. You could do something nice for family, if some you want to do something like that. So maybe somebody has a childhood wish that they never got fulfilled. Do some. I'm not. Again, I'm just saying that. Don't I guess don't get obsessed. And that's one thing I had to do. And that's one reason I say wear what you love, because it could, if you have enough money, you could get into the habit of just buying everything that you see, and just experiencing it. And then if you don't like to sell off something, you could just fill up a room and have, 100 fragrances that you just don't really like very much, and they're just collecting dust. And if you're a collector, I 100% respect you. Do what you want to do, but I don't think that's. Again, I like to use my money and maximize it, and it bothers me if something's just going to go to waste. Trust me, I do this with food, and I do it with everything in my life. If I feel something's going to go to waste, I like to find a way to be able to use it. That's just how I am. Let me see here. Get Let me catch up with the comments. Making Sense says Bergamot 22. I purchased 2 bottles, giving it 2 chances and sold them away. Bergamot 22 is another one. I think that a Le Labo. I think that one's another darling child. It's synthetic and it's very long lasting. It's linear. It does not change at all, really, as a fragrance. A lot of people like it because it is long lasting. And as an aquatic, it's not exactly transparent. It's still light and it's still fresh, but some people like it too because it's so long lasting and it's not exactly ozonic or transparent. But still, it does to me. It doesn't smell exactly great, and I'm not in the game for compliments. I mean, sure, it's probably a decent compliment getter, but again, y'all probably I know there's some people who don't want to hear more about Nautica Voyage, but trust me, if you want compliments, if that's all you're here for, if you're listening to me now wondering why I'm talking about incense or why I care about indie or being picky about niche, just spend the $15 and buy Nautica Voyage. So just go get the Nautica Voyage and make it a day, and you'll probably won't have to buy another fragrance because you'll always smell good, you'll be inoffensive, and people will compliment you. So, and for date nights, get yourself Dolce Gabbana the one. And you'll be set probably for the rest of your life, and that's all you'll ever need. Let me see here. Let me catch up with the comments again. Hope everyone's blessed and having an amazing week. Yes, Fragrance Journey. And again, if y'all don't know, Fragrance Journey is also a niche fragrance lover. He has a great nose on him. He's a great guy. And there's some other great people here, too. Michael Sewell is a great guy, making sense. And check these people out. Give them a chance. So Fragrance Journey is a dear friend. I hope that you consider me a dear friend, Fragrance Journey. I like your opinions. I like your taste. And I just joke. I hope you never feel like I gave you too much of a hard time about liking animalic scents. I'm a little bit of a tease. I heavily respect your opinion and your taste. And honestly, because you love that stuff so much, you're probably helping a lot of people out there who really do love the animalic fragrances and really do like the ouds, the intense, very, the hard to wear, scary ouds. There's people out there who like that stuff. So you're doing good work, my friend. You're doing a good thing. Says the entire LSU football team is wearing Jubilation 25 tomorrow. Is that true? I don't think so. Christian M says, yep, best regards. Try a sample of Rogue Devonish. I've tried that one. It's actually great. You might like it. It's not just saying that because I'm a Rogue fanboy. No, no, you're right. I have tried Devonish, and I need to introduce the house. I have a bunch of the samples. I have samples of all kinds of different brands and had different houses. But I take my time, and I don't know. I like sometimes I switch up the pace. Sometimes I'm really big into showcasing, houses, introducing houses. Sometimes I really want to review fragrances. Sometimes I really want to make fragrance battles, go head to head. And right now, I've just been on this incense kick. I've really been liking to showcase incense and talk about natural ingredients. And again, I'm gonna become a perfumer one day, guys. But I agree, man. Devonish is a nice one. It's really hard to categorize, though. I don't know if I should call it like an aromatic or oriental. I'm not sure what I should call that fragrance. I really don't know. But Devonish is a good one from Rogue Perfumery. And again, Rogue is a really good brand that just came on the scene, and they're really good to highlight the brand because if you want an indie house that's a little bit rebellious, if you always liked oak moss, they're non-IFRA compliant. You can get real oak moss, and you can get real musk and different ingredients. You just have to buy it from the right people and in your fragrance. So, these regulations that came out for bigger companies, and if you want to distribute them in the world and sell them, you have to pay attention and play their game with ingredients. That's just how the laws work. So that's why oak moss is so heavily restricted. They decide to do that, and they have their own synthetic oak moss that they sell. So they're playing their game. Anyways, let's jump to the next ones. You should try Cure from Molinard. I've heard that Molinard is a very good brand. People were talking about the patchouli, and there was like a patchouli vanilla or vanilla patchouli. Molinard, I've heard, is a really good house, and they come in those nice purple bottles. So I should get myself a Molinard. I should give them a chance. A few recommendations for a niche summer fragrance. That's a very hard question. There aren't a lot of good niche summer fragrances, in my opinion, and that's just the truth of it, in my humble opinion. And when I become a perfumer, I'm gonna hopefully change some of that. Um, One of them I would really suggest is Elborn by Carnar Barcelona. It's a little bit more for a night or air-conditioned environments, but Elborn is a gorgeous, very fresh, citrusy vanilla. Gorgeous fragrance, very unisex, but I really do like it as a niche fragrance. Summer niche fragrances. I don't know. You could probably get away with Reflection Man a lot. Musks. What's one reason I like niche musks? Because niche musk fragrances are good for any time, anywhere, and they always do a good job. So if you find a niche musk fragrance that you like, it's probably if it's more transparent and light, it'll probably do very well in the summer. There's not a lot of good niche summer fragrances. I don't know. Again, Bergamot 22. A lot of people love that from the Labo. It is synthetic, and I don't like it very much personally. I'm trying to think of some that I have in my collection. There's not a lot of them. One of the houses you might want to look into, if you're not scared away by bad performance, is Atelier. Atelier does citrus like nobody's business, and Zegna does Italian citrus very well. So it's kind of getting away from the aquatics. I do like citrus sometimes. It's more unisex. I would recommend it for a lady or a significant other. But Pomelo Paradis by Atelier. Pomelo Paradis is one of the best niche fragrances that's on the market, in my opinion. As far as being fresh and happy and cheerful, Pomelo Paradis is one of the most gorgeous summer fragrances. I got to jump to some more comments, but hopefully I helped you out there, Dean. DJ says, making sense, Molinard Vanille Fruity is great. Bought it last week. I got to check it out. Favorite box presentation. Valley Vaughn says goodnight. Did you just stop by Valley Vaughn to say goodnight? What are you doing here, man? I mean, lady, you just chilling? Are you just teasing me or something? Oh, come on, Valley Vaughn. It says, what's your favorite box presentation? I really like the presentations that open up, like Amouages. Florist does that a lot with their upscale, their higher end line. I really liked Naomi Paris's fragrance presentation. I thought they did a good job. I honestly haven't bought a lot of the really high end presentations, and I don't know if I'll ever get any. Like House of Siage has some amazing presentations. Uh, Killian has some amazing presentations. Like everybody was oohing and awing over Black Phantom for a long time. Black Phantom by Killian. So there's a lot of good presentations. There's some of them that open up like a door. I need to try more of those. Good night, Valley Vaughn. Joseph says. Wall of Frags slowly whistles in the wind. Whistle, whistle. No, I respect anybody who does that. It's just not my thing. Making sense says lol. Scent of the night or scent of the day is Costume National Soul. Guys, I've talked about that one a couple times on my channel. If you like cedarwood, if you like tobacco fragrances, if you want something that's not too expensive for a niche, it's long lasting. If you like things that are maybe a tiny bit daring, like Gucci Absolute, I know some people really don't like that one, but to me, it's like a niche version, and it's very much a big improvement on Dirty English, which I think might be discontinued now. You got to try out that Costume National Soul, and Costume National doesn't get a lot of love. They have their version that's like it's just called Costume National Homme, and it's a wonderful aromatic scent. I think it's an EDP. I actually mentioned it in a live that they should just get rid of their EDT, and I think they might have done that. I think that's really funny that I mentioned that they shouldn't really sell their Costume National Homme, their regular just EDT version, and now you can only buy the EDP. So that's a really good, just classy, everyday scent as well. Costume National doesn't get a lot of talk and doesn't get a lot of love. Joseph says Obsessions is easily it's easy to get stuck in the game. Yeah, it is, man. You can get pulled into it, lose perspective, and all that. It's real easy. Uh, what's the best way to trade or sell fragrances? There are some trade groups. Max Forte has his own. Like every month, he has like a trade day, and he owns. I think it's Emporium of Frags. It's like a fragrance group on Facebook, and I think you could trade that way. There's some big fragrance groups that just trade fragrances. You got to really vet people and figure out if they're fake or if they're real. People are getting cheated off of buying fake fragrances off eBay, and also getting cheated with trades. So be careful. But I usually do the easiest thing, but the least effective thing is I just sell them on eBay. I lose on shipping, and eBay and PayPal fees add up to about 13%. So if you bought a fragrance, like let's say you bought it at retail, you decide not to buy it on the gray market for $80 because everybody else who wants to sell that fragrance, and because of the gray market, you're going to have to sell that fragrance for $40 or less, even if it's pretty much brand new. And then you're going to lose, the $5, $6, $7 for shipping, and then you're going to lose 13% on top of that. So you're going to end up getting like $30 back for $80 fragrance. So it's a hard life. You lose a lot. Let's see here. DJ says decants all the way and occasionally buy full bottles, but only if the scent floors you. Save the money. Yeah, DJ, that's what I say. Buy what you love, wear what you love, and just buy it. Buy and wear what you truly love. I mean, again, it takes me, especially with a big collection, if I really love the fragrance and I wear it a lot, a bottle, a 100 ml, 3.4 ounce bottle is going to last me 6 months to a year. And that's even if I'm wearing it heavily. Because I have such a big collection, and I buy decants all the time, and I test fragrances, and I get samples in the mail, and I test everything. That's it. It might take me 2 years to get through a bottle, or maybe more, depending on how often I wear it. And I kind of underwear my fragrances a lot of times, or I just underspray them. So Yeah, I'm 100% with you, DJ. It says taste change and interest changed. Have a full bottle, and getting over the scent happens. Yeah, you can buy a full size bottle, and you can get tired of the bottle, and then you might just have to flip it and lose that money on it. Does good memories affect how much you like a fragrance due to it using a particularly good memory time? I get spirited away when I smell the dry down of Hawass by Rasasi, older batches. For me, I don't have too many fragrance memories, and when I do connect with a fragrance, like a fragrance memory, honestly, half of the time it doesn't motivate me to buy the fragrance. There's been a couple times I smelled one fragrance, and I forget, it might have been by Rado, but it reminded me of like the day after a carnival. Like, do you know a carnival or like a big festival? It's like the day after, where there's like trash around and like cotton candy, and the smell of like soda on the ground, and all the different scents of like trodden soil and things around you, like that. I had a fragrance remind me of that, like going to an old parking lot or like a festival the day after a big party or something like that. And it didn't motivate me particularly to want to buy the fragrance, but it was interesting and I enjoyed it. And I think I mentioned it on my a review on Fragrantica, that it gave me that memory. And I think the perfumer was very happy about it, but I didn't buy the bottle, and it usually doesn't affect me very much. Some people, when they wear fragrances, and if they have a good experience while they're wearing the fragrance, they connect that memory to the fragrance. And I don't do that too often. Maybe I should. Maybe that's something I'm missing out on. But no, you can have a good experience with just about any fragrance. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it depends. I mean, like some ladies, if it's like a date night thing, wink, wink. That might be a special memory. I'm not sure. Brad says Aqua Universalis by Maison French Curtis John is a nice summer scent. Yeah, that one's one of the ones. It's really nice. It's easy to wear. It's universal. It's kind of expensive for what it is, but it's a good niche one. Scent of the day is Queens by Bond Number Nine. I don't think I've tried that one. Not a lot of Bond Number Nines have ever done it for me. Never really motivated me to buy one. We're slowly getting down to the end of the comments here. Let's see here. DJ says Aqua Universalis Forte is wonderful. Gotta like lemon, though, which I do. I need to try that one again. I have tried it. I tried it in the past. I don't know if I exactly loved it. But some people really love it, so I respect you. Forte has more white florals or white flowers, yeah. The regular Aqua Universalis is citrusy with a great musk. Joseph says, indeed it is, yes. And thoughts on Hermes Eau Rouarbi? E- I don't know French. Eclairot. Eclat? Eclat? Anyways, I haven't tried that one. I imagine it has rhubarb, and rhubarb is a very interesting note. It almost smells oddly cherry like and fresh and slightly green at the same time. Hermes citrus fragrances often are very nice. Some of them are very high quality, and the prices aren't too bad, but some of them just don't last very long. But Hermes has some really nice lines and some really nice high end line. Uh, actually, I think they have some exclusive fragrances that not many people talk about. And if any of you are gentlemen out there, if you're looking for wonderful fragrances, if you don't think I talk about the classics enough, you definitely have to try out Rokabar or Rokabar Vetiver. I talked about that one early in my channel, when I first started reviewing. I talked about it a little bit. If you're a gentleman out there and you like those warm, spicy scents, Rokabar, especially the Vetiver Rokabar, is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And I don't think it's ever, as far as I can tell, it hasn't been reformulated ever or been neutered or ruined. It's really one of the best out there. But again, sometimes I am a fan of, that one's a real classic. But sometimes I am a fan of some of the ones I consider classics that some people don't seem to love as much, like Platinum Egoist. I think is a beautiful and wonderful. I still think Dior Fahrenheit is a killer fragrance. Anateus is still a killer fragrance in my book. I think Kubano just dropped a video on that one. Anateus is the real deal. It's the business, and there's just still a number of other good ones out there. Uh, Polo Safari for me personally is still a great fragrance. If you've never tried Polo Safari and you're a gentleman out there, I think it's worth a try. I'm trying to remember. Somebody was, and I'm kind of mentioning these because somebody told me that I don't talk about classics or 80s or 90s fragrances enough. I used to talk about those a lot when I first started. Davidoff Zeno is still one of the best, and I mean one of the best fragrances for the money. You can still find that fragrance for about $20. And if you like yourself those dark, inky vetiver fragrances, if you're a fan of Encre Noir, get yourself Davidoff Zeno, and you'll probably fall in love with it. It's a little bit more of a patchouli fragrance. And yes, that if you're hearing that noise in the distance, that's the water tower again going off. It just does that sometimes. Now let me see here. No new comments. Anyways, yeah. So I just wanted to mention those classic fragrances a little bit. I wanted to mention the classy fragrances, the fragrances of the past that maybe people just don't talk about too much anymore. What fragrances are y'all into? I'm about to wrap this up. I've been on here actually a lot longer than I was planning on being, but I do want to share before I end this, before I wrap this up. I gotta share with you some more Arij incense. If you like incense, I got you right here. This one's called Qatari. This one's from Somaliland. I gotta wrap this up. I gotta tell y'all about this. Yeah, people are not talking about Hermes Eau Très Fresh. Eau Très Fresh is one of the best vetiver fragrances, fresh, classy, dressed up fragrances for the office, for the workplace, for a classy man. And it's very fresh. I think a younger guy can easily pull it off. People also don't talk about Eau Sauvage enough. Eau Sauvage is a masterpiece. I even think the reformulation is a masterpiece. Eau Sauvage is better than a lot of fragrances on the market these days. A lot of people want to hear about these new designer releases. I'm like, people, have you smelled Eau Sauvage? I mean, a lot of these new fragrances that come out, they don't come anywhere close to being as good as smelling as something like Eau Sauvage, or some of these classy fragrances. Platinum Egoist is an undisputed champion in my opinion. People really don't talk about what's that one called? Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Edition Blanche, I think, is a really good fragrance too. The opening might not be exactly great, but the dry down is wonderful with Allure Homme Edition Blanche. I think it's the best of the Allure line, that's for sure. Hermes Eau Très Fresh, they keep a secret because it's too good. Bought 2 bottles now. I'll be talking about it in the spring, and I talk about it a lot. I don't know. Do some reviewers hide that fragrance? I think it's wonderful. And if you like a good vetiver, if you like Boisé de Portugal by Creed, which is a good fragrance, it's a classic. That's a real deal fragrance. That one's very respectable. You got to try Kaleidoscope by Daniel Hossier. Kaleidoscope by Daniel Hossier is the real deal. If you like fresh, green, crisp fragrances, if you like vetiver, try it out. Do yourself a favor. You gotta like eucalyptus. It does have that watery, fresh overtone. Eucalyptus, is an interesting note. It's really good stuff, though. Let me see here. Catch up with the comments. Aramis 900 is great in a classy scent. I think I've tried that one. I have to retry it. I'm into sweet scents, especially vanilla, tonka, and sandalwood. I'm trying to think of any fragrance that have vanilla, tonka, and sandalwood. Um, you probably know all about Guerlain Ideal Cologne. You probably know all about it. It's nice. You probably would be a big fan of Paco Rabanne 1 Million Lucky, which is really nice. I'm trying to remember some other ones that are like that. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Pure Tonka by Mugler. That one's really sweet. And the lights are about to kick off on me again. Let me see if I can't... Okay, I don't want them to shut off. I gotta go soon because I don't want to be out in the dark again. Let's see here. Have a good night, brother. Bye, making sense. Hi there, mate. Hey, Frankenstein, how you doing? Sent to Costume National. Cyber Garden is a great green scent. Yeah, I've tried that one. I know all about Cyber Garden. I'll check out Pure Tonka. Yeah, and if you do like Pure Tonka by Mugler, you probably want to buy it before it's reformulated or X'd from the collection, because you know that everybody, I hope y'all know, and I've tried to say it multiple times on my channel, they were bought out, and Mugler is probably going to reformulate and change the whole company up. And Dior is making a bunch of new reformulations. So if you're a big fan of your version of Dior Homme, Dior Homme Intense, Dior Homme Parfum, buy yourself that backup bottle if you're a big fan. DJ says night. Yeah, thank you. It's good to see you too, my friend. Yeah, and I love Pure Tonka. Pure Tonka to me is one of the best designer gourmands that probably was ever made. Bleu de Chanel and Parfum, the best sandalwood ever. I'm a big sandalwood fan. I respect the fragrance, no doubt, but I'm not sure if it's the best sandalwood. If you're getting, at least in the niche world, you gotta try something like Moon Milk. Moon Milk by Stora Skogen is probably my favorite sandalwood so far as a sandalwood heavy fragrance, and that one has supposedly some real Mysore sandalwood in it. So let me show y'all some of this more incense real quick, and I'll wrap this up. This one's called Negletta. This one is from Ethiopia. And again, you can buy this from Arij Perfumes. Again, if you want more details, if you have questions for me, please message me on my Facebook Messenger or on my Instagram. And I do have an Instagram. It's Centaur_fragrance. Check me out. I talk about fragrances there too. Yeah, Night Man. Night Frankenstein. I'm gonna wrap this up. I gotta go. The last one is called Ferrinia, and this one's from Somalia. Another fantastic type of frankincense. I gotta test some of these, more of these, and let y'all know my thoughts and my feelings. But it's beautiful, and very happy that Arij Perfumery sent me by the incense for review. But again, I don't think their fragrances are great by any means. But that's just my personal opinion. Thank all 13 people who stayed and sticked with me. Thanks for your channel. Good job. Ethiopia has some nice opals and gemstones. Oh, they do. And maybe one day, if I get enough money, maybe I could be a big boss and look like, a grand prince or something, and and have a black opal. I would love to have a black opal one day. I oddly am into gemstones, and I'm into many things. I'm a bit of a Renaissance man. I like to fiddle with a lot of things. So I'll see y'all next time, my friends. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for being here with me, chatting with me, being my fragrance friends. And again, I started this, channel really to make fragrance friends because, where else am I going to find a fragrance enthusiast, fragrance lovers just like you? Where am I going to find you? I'm going to find you here on YouTube. This is an easy way to find you and connect with you. I'll try their incense. Yeah, if you want to try their incense, their prices aren't bad. Soul Niche is another one. Soul Niche is a great place to go for incense. And this one is called Arij, A-R-I-G. I'm going to make another video dedicated to them. I've mentioned them a couple times in lives. But, yeah, I got to do some more. Have you tried Bleu de Chanel Parfum, not the EDP? I have tried it. I've tried all three. And I tried them side by side. I have not done any fragrance battles head to head with any of them. I agree that the Parfum is probably the best. The EDP isn't bad, but I really don't care for the EDP. The EDT at all. The EDP is pretty good, but I agree with you. The Parfum is probably the best one. Yeah, I've tried them all. Let's see here. Joseph says, "Lol, yeah, I'm more into gemstones than frags." Oh, you are? Okay, we'll have to talk in the future. See what you're into, and maybe we could talk about gems a little bit. That'd be fun. Anyways, I gotta go, my friends. I wish y'all the very best, and I hope that y'all enjoy my channel and my conversations and sometimes my randomness. I was even gonna talk about Today was the first day I used an air fryer. And using an air fryer was a fun experience. If you've never tried one of those little suckers, an air fryer can be a nice experience. They're pretty fun. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up, my friends. Thank you so much for being my fragrance friends and my fragrance family. If you want to connect with me even more, and similar, Scentatar fragrance friends, find me on Facebook, Scentatar Fragrance, and find I have a group called Scentatar Fragrance Family. You can join and connect with other fragrance lovers. And again, I do have an Instagram, Scentatar_fragrance. And I got to see y'all. Scentatar, my friend, what's your name? My name's Benjamin. It's Benjamin Joseph. Uh, I'll see you all, my friends. I guess it's about to be the new week. I'll see you next week. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, my friends. I got to roll. I got to go. Time is precious. I'll see you.